One of the great things about the Coach Expo is we are interviewing such a diverse group of coaches. And I want to introduce my new friend, Danny Den Hartog, today. It's actually Danny Den Hartog, but I don't know how to say that sound. So I got to just do my best here to introduce him. He's from the Netherlands, okay? And he's had an international career, lived all over the world as a professional and executive. But then almost 10 years ago, he found coaching. And now he's gone on to become a very successful coach. And now he teaches coaches all over the world how to grow their businesses, get clients. And he also specializes in using AI, which I hope we get to hear a little bit, Danny. So welcome and thanks for coming.
Thanks so much for having me, Eben. It's a great pleasure to be here.
Yeah. Would you just tell us a little bit about your origin story? I'm particularly fascinated with, can you remember the moment when you realized you were a coach, or, what was your experience? What happened when you realized you were a coach? And then how did that change your path or your life?
Yeah, absolutely. That's such a great question. For me, it really started with a point where I was, sitting in my comfortable apartment in Hong Kong overlooking the harbor. And I had been traveling throughout the Asia Pacific region extensively at a young age. And until that moment, I was really enjoying my job. But it took me a moment in the Philippines where there was a little child, I think she was 6 or 7, and she grabbed my arm and she asked for money. And I had seen a lot of poverty, but it just broke my heart. And I'm very grateful for that moment, because it just was a wake-up call that said, what are you doing, Danny? What are you doing with your life? Is that all there is? Is that the impact that you're making in the world? And I entreated her entire family on a bucket of fast food in a local chain, which probably was the most unhealthy thing I could have done, right? But that for me was a transition. And I'm sure so many of your listeners will have had a moment where, or are about to make a really important decision to become a coach. And for me, this moment took me back to the Netherlands and was the start of my coaching business. Now, the initial couple of years, I didn't even know I was a coach. I didn't even realize it. So I started working with these impact entrepreneurs that wanted to scale their business internationally. But I had no idea that I was actually coaching. And it took me a coach to actually realize that. And it took me actually several coaches. And I'm just so proud and so juiced that we get to own that we are a coach. This is the most beautiful profession in the world. Wouldn't you agree?
I would. And I can so relate to what you're saying, because I first became interested in coaching over 25 years ago and started studying, Thomas Leonard's work, and just, really got into learning about what coaching was. And whenever I would teach, or I would, I was an entrepreneur, I had a team, I would always do all the things that I had learned, but I never saw myself as a coach. I just thought it was kind of one of the things that you do for free with the rest of the stuff you do in life. And it took me, 15, almost 20 years to actually go, oh, hey, maybe I should just identify and realize I love coaching. And then I started teaching coaching and started my, virtual coach and future coach programs. And it took me a long time to realize it, and to realize, I can do this particular thing, and what a difference it makes in people's lives. And amazing. So what is, go ahead.
How you, in one of your interviews where, in one of your podcasts where you said that it was actually your through line, right? That your through line was all about I am a coach. And that's such a breakthrough.
Yeah, absolutely. Yeah. You realize that you're a coach. It's not, it's an awakening. That's why I like asking the question, So what does a coach need to do? I mean, I'm fascinated with the inner game and with the outer game. So as a coach, what do we need to do on the inside to do what it takes to build the confidence, or to do whatever we need to do to start, doing outreach, or getting our message out, or attracting clients?
Yeah. So what I fundamentally believe is that there is no other profession in the world where it's more important to actually master that inner game than for a coach, right? For coaches. Because if we do not practice it ourselves, how can we help others to master their inner game, right? There's so many of us that are working on that. And for those of us that are not actively working on it, we are still working on it because every other thing connects with mastering our inner game. So we need to practice what we teach. And it just starts with really like owning every part of it and just immersing ourselves and doing it, right? Like we all know that it's very important to have a proper morning routine, but are we actually doing it? Right? Like it's actually stepping up and to say, okay, in order to be a great coach, to be like a legendary coach, to be a future coach, like we just do it. Like that should be part of our identity, right? Like that a future coach actually has these kind of rituals and manages the inner game like that.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, coaching really does call you to become the best version of yourself. It's one of the things that I've really appreciated about it is when I coach, and particularly when I teach coaches, I just have to keep remembering, oh, yeah, I need to be the best version of myself. So it inspires me to get sleep and to exercise and to eat right and to make sure my relationships and just to try to have a life, to have the life I would have wanted to have anyway, but it gives me that little extra push, right?
Absolutely. And it's just, and I'm sure many of your listeners can relate to that, but if we don't do it on a specific day, if we don't do the things that we need to do, our client conversations will suck, right? Like we are not like that confident. We present our offer in a way that just does not cut through, because it's just that tiny difference in how we show up, how we speak that makes the difference, and if we get to impact a life or not. So it's that important, because we are doing a major disservice to our audience, to our potential clients, if we not show up as the person that we're really becoming, right? Let's step into that identity right now.
Yeah, absolutely. And what do you teach coaches when they want to either scale up their coaching practice or they want to just start going out and getting clients? What's your favorite technique for attracting clients?
So what I see happening a lot, and I think this is probably holding back the entire space most, is just that shiny object syndrome. Right? Like there's just so many people trying to make a living selling YouTube courses or like, all different kind of things. And I get that, right? Like it's great to develop an online product, digital product. And that's part of what you're learning, from the amazing things that you teach, right? But it's, for us coaches, it's really important about like focusing on the needle movers and not getting distracted by all the tactics around. In my opinion, it really starts with, who are you? What do you believe in? What do you stand for? What is that change that you wish to see in the world? And if you own that, if you know that, if you understand that essence, everything else is going to be so much easier, and you're going to show up unapologetically as yourself. For me, in this coaching journey, if there's one thing that like has made all the difference in my life, it has been like one coach who told me once, Danny, why are you hiding? Why are you hiding behind an anonymous company name where it's actually danny.hartog.com? Like that's you. And I was like, can I actually do that? Is it actually okay to have my own name in my company name? And I was like, that would give me so much freedom. I can just be myself. I can just like say the things that I want to say. I don't have to think about corporate language and all of these things. I can just be me. And I still get goosebumps when I'm saying this, because let's just be us, right? Let's be you.
That's a big one, right? To say, I don't need to hide behind my role or my business. I'm actually going to come out and be myself. This reminds me, we've been listening to a lot of Sting's music around here because my 10-year-old daughter, I started playing his music for her and she's fallen in love. So now we just listen to Sting all the time. We just went and saw him in concert. And so we watch, videos with him, and he's a fascinating character. He's a very interesting and intelligent human being. And he was telling a story in one of the videos. He said when he was a little kid, he and his wife, they come from, poor working class, families. Like he comes from like a shipyard in England somewhere. And one day the Queen came to his little town when he was a kid, right? When he was a little boy. And they were, again, these were poor people who were nobodies, basically. So she comes to help christen or launch a ship. Some big ship was built. And so she's up there to launch it. And she came by waving at everyone or something. And he said, at one point she looked at him and, she locked eyes with him. And, she's doing her wave. And all of a sudden he realized like the Queen is looking at him and he's looking at the Queen. And the eye contact stayed for a while. And then he said, I became someone. It's like in that moment, he was seen by someone, and then it was like this formative moment in his life. And I think a lot of us are afraid of being seen by other people, of actually having someone important or the world see us. But it's also like a hero's journey where if you can go and become someone by having the world see you, then a whole next version of you is available.
Yeah. That's so beautiful.
Yeah.
That's so true, right? And that's just that it feels like there's a weight that just lifted from your shoulders, and it's okay, now I can be myself.
Exactly. I can just be myself. And as a coach, who you really are is very valuable, and it's unique actually. And there are a lot of people who need specifically what you've learned and what you have. Yeah. So you've also been using AI. How have you been using AI, and how can a coach use this to help them build their business?
Yeah, I don't know if you know it, but you were actually the person who woke me up to the potential of AI. Like you spoke to a high level mastermind that I was in about 6-7 months ago. Mm-hmm. And honestly, if I tell you the truth, I was resisting. Mm-hmm. I was resisting because I had all these limiting beliefs about what AI was. I thought it was impersonal. I thought it was not me, because I was like, I've never like one of my limiting beliefs was that I was not great at tech and all of that. I thought you had to know a lot about tech and all of these kind of things. And you showed us very specifically what to do, where to click, what to key in, like the prompts and all of that. And I was like, I can do this. I can do this. And I not only did it, but I actually turned it into my business. I was like, I'm going to actually do this thing. And now people are like, the experience that you gave me, I actually give other people that experience, because they're wow. Like, imagine what this can do for me. Right. Yeah. So for your audience, and if you're listening, like, this is absolutely an earth-shattering movement, right? Like, this is not going away. And I absolutely love helping coaches with this, because what I found to be true is that AI is not only there to help us with our messaging, which is great, right? We can have it write emails. We can do tons of things with it. But here's the cool thing for a coach. What if AI can help you to find your life purpose, right? Mm-hmm. How cool is that? Mm-hmm. What if AI can help you to accelerate your results with your clients? How cool is that? For me, I've been able to fast track. I can now help clients find their ideal client 4 times faster than I could with before AI.
Wow. Powerful. Can you give us a little tidbit? Just give us a little prompting nugget.
Absolutely. So I'll give you a little bit behind the scenes, right? Because I know that you do that often. Like, I love how you have actually promoted the concept of moving the free line, right? Mm-hmm. And for me, I have been using AI to basically ask it, like, how do I work you, right? Like, how do I actually get results that work for me? And that kind of mindset to just change like, okay, tell me what I need to put in for you to give me the results. Like for me, that was massive. And when I realized that we can do that, it was like, I would like, how can you help me as a client to find my life purpose? What are the questions that you are going to ask me that I have to respond to, right? Which help me to define my life purpose. So it gave me all kind of questions. My next prompt was, okay, this is great, right? So now give me a specific model based on all these questions. And obviously I've not relied only on AI. It's not a copy paste thing, but you bring in all the wealth of experience that you have as well in it. You iterate, and we came up with the purpose model, right? The purpose AI model, PURPOSE, right? Which you can then say, like, create like a powerful model that is going to resonate with my ideal client. So you can use AI to come up with your own coaching methodologies, right? Your processes, and to make it in a way like the 5 C's, the 10 S's, the whatever you want to do. And that is just amazing.
Absolutely. Yeah. It's astonishing that it can do this. Yeah. And you just got to dive in and you got to use it. Okay. And then speaking of which, you have a great bonus to offer for everyone who registers for the Future Coach.
Yeah. I really think what you're doing, like, this is a no-brainer for people, because the reality is that if you really want to do this, there's so many moving pieces, and there's not a lot of people. Like, most people just offer like a specific part of it, right? And it's very hard for you to pin all these pieces together. So I love the work that you do, because you create a comprehensive, step-by-step process where people have everything. Right. So I'm super happy to contribute to the entire package. So if you are curious to find your life purpose using AI and see the process that I've created, the 10-step process, then I have the Purpose AI Blueprint, which is an unconventional adventure for coaches that I could add to this amazing package.
Oh, thank you. Thank you so much. And yeah, it's so important to not just find your purpose, but learn this skill of finding your purpose, because so many people feel purposeless right now. Yeah. Danny, thank you. Thank you for coming and sharing. Thank you for that awesome bonus. I really appreciate it.
Thank you so much, Eben. Thank you for inspiring me to embark on this journey. And you're a phenomenal coach, and I appreciate you. Thank you.